Hey guys, welcome to Seller Sessions via Facebook Live. Today I have with me Destiny Wishon. How you doing?
Doing well. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, so do you want to give the audience a little bit of background on yourself?
Yeah, of course. So I currently manage Better AMS. We are a PPC agency. We focus on scaling sponsored products and sponsored brands for agencies or brands that sell on Amazon.
Cool. So the reason I got, or one of the reasons I got you on today is we covered this a while ago, and so basically, if people cast their minds back, there's like a ad that went kind of viral, mini viral, especially on LinkedIn. I think it got over 100,000 views and it got shared numerous times. And what this was is that Amazon had produced a new ad type. So when a customer does a search into Amazon, they get to the search page, they click on the ad, and as they go through to the product, Amazon pops up with a banner ad just a few seconds before you fully land and engage with the page with a discounted product. Generally, the price is lower. And in your case, this has happened to one of your clients. Do you want to take up the story?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny story. I was scrolling on LinkedIn and I was like, that's my brand. And I kind of looked into it. And I think the problem I had with the ad is that we were paying for those clicks. It was a sponsored ad that was being clicked on. And
Yeah.
then when you open it up, like you said, our ad spend was being cannibalized by an Amazon product. And I could have stopped and I looked at that and I was like, that's my brand. So I kind of hopped into the data and I dove in and within the first week, I didn't see any change. So
Yeah.
I gave it a few times, gave it about a week or two and I kind of dived back in and I didn't make any changes to our ad spend because I never saw a change in conversion or a drop in impressions or spend or anything from the ad.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because everyone was raging over it, wasn't they? Because the way they see it is people see it as a form of bait and switch. It's like you
Mhm.
pay your fees on Amazon, you then paying on ads, you're trying to gain visibility. And then you feel like it's unfair where that product, if you remind me, it's a supplement, right? I think it
Yes.
retailed around $20 and then Amazon
Yeah.
showed a similar product for $10. So
Yeah.
generally the chances are you think once someone's paid for the click, obviously they can navigate away from the page, but you're more odds on that the customer through their intent was to go through and look at your product in ideal to purchase it. Now we know when you scroll down the page on the product page on Amazon, you've got AMS ads, you've got branded ads. As you're scrolling down, you've got the carousels, haven't you, of frequently viewed products. You've got more sponsored product results, etc., etc. So it's already a minefield when you get to the page. But the most surprising thing for, I suppose, everyone else who didn't have the data, everyone's up in arms thinking that's going to kill the product.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it comes up right across your screen. It completely covers up our initial listing for that point in time.
Yeah.
And I had the same thought, a customer always already sees your PDAs, your sponsored products related to this item. So if anything, I assumed that the ad was just annoying. And
Yeah.
the fact that it was on mobile, I mean, every ad that I saw went viral was on mobile version.
Yeah.
It's just annoying to have it on your phone and you're going to pull that up and the first thing you see is another ad.
Yeah. And how long was that on the listing for? Because it's pretty cruel, isn't it? That you've got to keep clicking and generating costs on the ad to find out is that Amazon ad still sitting there?
100%. From what I saw, I mean, there was nothing completely definite because it kind of depends on your browser, where you're pulling it up from.
Hmm.
But from what I saw, it was around a 3 to 4 week period.
Yeah. And did you see an increase anywhere in terms of session data and stuff? Because obviously that went viral. I know that people were good because they didn't put the product page in the link. They just done an animated GIF, didn't they? So people could see it, but you wouldn't go and click on that and start killing your conversions by burning up your sessions. But did you see any increase there at all?
The only thing I saw was a major drop in our ACOS from February to March. And not 100% sure exactly where that's tied to, but I think we went from like a 17% ACOS to 11% ACOS after that ad was placed.
So randomly, after this, mock outrage, if you like, you you actually gained rather than lost. Your ACOS went
Yeah.
down. And so
Yeah.
in terms of sales, what was I mean, I think you said off the call that March was your best sales period generally. If you extrapolate that information, what does that look to previous periods and say March last year?
It was pretty similar. We've had a steady increase in sales. I would say from just February to March, it was around a 10% increase. But from year to date, it was on trend.
Yeah, that makes sense. Did you have any conversations with Amazon about this at all?
I did not actually. I'm kind of on the proponent that Amazon's always going to be in charge. They are always rolling out beta tests. And I think if anything, it's an advantage to sellers because it gives us an ability to have quicker maneuverability every single time that they release a new beta launch for an ad type or anything like that. It allows us to get more market share because we can move quicker and test those. And it's all about collecting data.
Yeah.
I mean, they're allowing us to advertise on that platform, and we all know what we're getting into when we sell on Amazon. No one said it was easy.
No, that makes sense. So in terms of the brand owners themselves, can you give me some insights how they were feeling about the situation? And I mean, most people would hit the roof over stuff like that and be pretty upset. I mean, what was their kind of reaction to this?
I actually sent it over and I was like, I'm going to look into conversion, make sure that there's no adjustments. And they were like, well, that's interesting to see. They didn't worry about it. I mean, don't sweat the small stuff. If it didn't affect anything, and like I've mentioned before, we have a really nice foundation. We have good EBC, a great listing. We're pouring as much as we can into PPC, outside trafficking, social media. When you have all of those factors spinning the flywheel, it makes it a lot easier to diversify your sales on Amazon.
That makes sense. So tell me a bit more about day-to-day of what you do. You do mainly AMS, don't you? So talk to me about some trends on your side, what's happening at the moment, what you're seeing.
Definitely. So Better AMS actually initially started to focus on AMS because there was kind of a gap in the market where people were maxing out their sponsored products. But when it came to the sponsored brand side and the content and the different HSAs and PDAs, they just weren't maximizing their sales or their profit on that end. So we started on that platform. Sponsored brands is typically 30% of your sponsored products if you're maxing it out. So we've still seen pretty strong trends on that side just because it's really great for building a brand. If you're wholesaling or reselling or anything like that, it's a little bit different. It's probably not where you want to be. But when it comes to building a brand, you can put your content in your headline ads and your product targeting ads that are kind of focused on your omni-channel marketing. And the new brand metrics are absolutely amazing because it allows us to really target new customers rather than returning customers. Yeah. So you just have to be there.
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember who told me, but it might be Liz Adamson. Shout out to Liz. She mentioned to me, you know, like with being in AMS and then there's Seller Central, and basically, you know, people getting differing results in terms of running PDAs versus both the different platforms. One of the interesting insights that Liz said to me is that there still to this day seems to be more ad inventory on AMS side there is in Seller Central side. What's your thoughts on that?
100%. So we've had a few brands that have actually wanted to merge all of their AMS ads over to Seller Central just to keep it in one platform and keep it clean. Yeah. And we obviously always recommend that you don't do that just because it's lost data. But they were pretty heavily pushing for it. So we decided to run a split test, and I took the top 10 converting campaigns from the AMS platform and launched them exactly same bids, everything on the Seller Central side. And not only is there a difference in admin inventory, but there's just a difference in CPCs and impressions and conversions. CPCs were much higher. ACOS was around 10% higher on the Seller Central side. Obviously, a lot of that comes from old data. We all know how the algorithm works and how much it loves data. And if you have a product that converted really well a year and a half ago, and you're relaunching on Seller Central, you're not going to have that attribution that you have from AMS. And that's kind of the biggest thing we saw.
Cool. That makes sense. Is there anything you'd like to add before we go?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it.
So if people want to hire you guys, what's the best way to reach you?
You can add me on Facebook or LinkedIn or look us up at betteramsagency.com.
Sounds good. Destiny, thank you for joining us. Guys, don't forget, we still have a handful of tickets left for Seller Sessions Live in London. Go to sellersessions.com/live, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.